The urgency of the pandemic.
The COVID-19 pandemic, caused by the SARS-CoV-2 virus, emerged as a global health crisis in early 2020. The rapid spread of the virus led to widespread illness, significant mortality, and unprecedented socio-economic disruptions. Governments worldwide imposed lockdowns, travel restrictions, and social distancing measures to curb the virus's spread, but the need for a medical solution was evident. Historically, vaccine development is a lengthy process, often taking 10–15 years from initial research to mass production. However, the urgency of the COVID-19 pandemic necessitated an accelerated timeline. Scientists, pharmaceutical companies, and governments collaborated on an unprecedented scale to develop, test, and distribute vaccines within months.
2. Foundations of vaccine development. Understanding the rapid development of COVID-19 vaccines requires a basic knowledge of vaccine science. Vaccines work by stimulating the immune system to recognize and fight pathogens. There are several types of vaccines, including 1. Inactivated or live attenuated vaccines. Contain a killed or weakened form of the pathogen. 2. Subunit, recombinant, polysaccharide, and conjugate vaccines. Use specific pieces of the pathogen. 3. mRNA vaccines. Use messenger RNA to instruct cells to produce a protein that triggers an immune response. 4. Viral vector vaccines. Use a different virus as a vector to deliver genetic material from the pathogen. Prior to COVID-19, vaccines for diseases like polio, measles, and influenza had been developed using these methods. However, traditional methods often required extensive time for research, development, and testing. 3. Pre-pandemic preparations. The scientific community had already laid the groundwork for rapid vaccine development through research on other coronaviruses, such as SARS, severe acute respiratory syndrome, and MERS, Middle East respiratory syndrome. These viruses provided valuable insights into coronavirus structure and immune responses, informing the development of COVID-19 vaccines. Additionally, advances in vaccine platforms, such as mRNA and viral vectors, had been in development for years. Organizations like the Coalition for Epidemic Preparedness Innovations, CEPI, and the Global Vaccine Alliance, Gavi, had established frameworks for rapid response to emerging infectious diseases. 4. Early days of COVID-19. In late 2019, reports of a novel coronavirus emerged from Wuhan, China. By January 2020, the virus was identified as SARS-CoV-2, and its genetic sequence was rapidly shared with the global scientific community. This swift dissemination of information enabled researchers to begin developing diagnostic tests, treatments, and vaccines almost immediately. The global response included lockdowns, travel restrictions, and efforts to understand the virus's transmission and pathology. Early studies on the virus's spike protein, which allows it to enter human cells, highlighted a key target for vaccine development. 5. International collaboration. The fight against COVID-19 was characterized by unprecedented international collaboration. Organizations like the World Health Organization, WHO, CEPI, and Gavi played crucial roles in coordinating efforts, sharing information, and securing funding. Governments, pharmaceutical companies, and academic institutions worked together, leveraging their collective expertise and resources. Key to this collaboration was the sharing of the SARS-CoV-2 genetic sequence, which enabled researchers worldwide to begin vaccine development. Financial support from governments and philanthropic organizations, including Operation Warp Speed in the United States and the European Union's funding initiatives, provided the necessary resources for accelerated research and production. 6. Innovative vaccine platforms. mRNA vaccines, Pfizer-BioNTech and Moderna.
One of the most significant breakthroughs in COVID-19 vaccine development was the successful use of mRNA technology. Unlike traditional vaccines, mRNA vaccines do not use live virus. Instead, they deliver genetic instructions to cells, prompting them to produce a protein found on the virus's surface, triggering an immune response. Pfizer-BioNTech, Comirnaty, and Moderna, Spikevax, were the first mRNA vaccines authorized for emergency use. Developed in record time, these vaccines demonstrated high efficacy in clinical trials and were rapidly produced and distributed. Mechanism of action. mRNA vaccines use lipid nanoparticles to deliver mRNA into cells. The cells then produce the spike protein, which the immune system recognizes as foreign, generating an immune response. Development timeline. The Pfizer-BioNTech and Moderna vaccines progressed from design to clinical trials in a matter of weeks, thanks to existing research on mRNA technology and rapid regulatory approvals. Viral vector vaccines. Oxford AstraZeneca and Johnson & Johnson. Viral vector vaccines use a different virus, not the virus that causes COVID-19, as a vector to deliver genetic material from SARS-CoV-2. This approach triggers an immune response without causing disease. Oxford AstraZeneca, Vaxzevria, and Johnson & Johnson, Janssen, developed viral vector vaccines that played crucial roles in the global vaccination effort. Mechanism of action. These vaccines use a modified adenovirus to deliver the SARS-CoV-2 spike protein gene to cells, prompting an immune response. Development timeline. Leveraging existing viral vector platforms, these vaccines underwent rapid development and large-scale clinical trials. 7. Accelerating clinical trials. Traditional vaccine development involves 3 phases of clinical trials, each taking several years. To expedite the process, COVID-19 vaccine trials overlapped phases and used adaptive trial designs. Phase 1 focused on safety and dosage in a small group of volunteers. Phase 2 expanded safety assessments and examined immune responses in hundreds of participants. Phase 3 evaluated efficacy and monitored for adverse effects in tens of thousands of participants. Global recruitment efforts and multiple trial sites ensured diverse representation and robust data. Regulatory agencies, such as the FDA and EMA, implemented fast-tracking mechanisms to review data in real time, allowing for rapid emergency use authorizations. 8. Manufacturing and distribution challenges. Producing billions of vaccine doses presented significant challenges. Companies scaled up production capacities, often before final approvals, to ensure readiness. Key challenges included scaling up production, building new facilities and repurposing existing ones. Cold chain logistics. mRNA vaccines required ultra-cold storage, complicating distribution. Global distribution, ensuring equitable access through initiatives like COVAX. Addressing supply chain issues, such as shortages of raw materials and vials, was crucial to maintaining production schedules. 9. Ensuring safety and efficacy. Ensuring the safety and efficacy of COVID-19 vaccines was paramount. Regulatory agencies conducted rigorous reviews, and post-marketing surveillance monitored adverse effects. Safety monitoring, ongoing studies and data collection on vaccine recipients. Addressing hesitancy. Public education campaigns to build trust and counter misinformation. Transparency in reporting side effects and ongoing research into long-term effects helped build public confidence. 10. Global vaccination campaigns. National vaccination strategies varied, with some countries prioritizing healthcare workers and the elderly. Global initiatives like COVAX aimed to ensure equitable distribution, particularly in low- and middle-income countries. Vaccination rates. Varying rates of vaccine uptake and challenges in reaching remote populations. Impact on pandemic control. Reduced transmission, hospitalizations, and deaths in highly vaccinated regions.
11. Lessons learned and future preparedness.
The rapid development of COVID-19 vaccines highlighted several key lessons. Importance of global collaboration. Collective efforts were crucial to success. Investment in research. Pre-existing research on coronaviruses and vaccine platforms paid off. Preparedness infrastructure. The need for robust global health systems to respond to future pandemics.
Building on these lessons, global health organizations are working to improve pandemic preparedness and response capabilities.
Conclusion. The rapid development of COVID-19 vaccines represents a triumph of science, collaboration, and human ingenuity. While challenges remain in achieving global vaccination and addressing variants, the unprecedented efforts and successes of 2020-2021 provide a hopeful outlook for the future of vaccine development and global health.
Thanks. Please like, share, and subscribe.